Hi everyone, today we're looking at the new 2025 calendar from Kelly O'Gorman. So if you've been with my channel for a few years or longer, you will have known that Kelly brings out a calendar every year and it's always the highest quality. The illustrations are absolutely stunning and very unique to Kelly's style. You won't find illustrations like this anywhere else. And for the last couple of years, she's not been producing a calendar. I think she's been focusing on other things. And this is the first year in, I think, 2 years that we've had a calendar. So I'm really, really excited about this. I was so stoked to see that Kelly was doing another calendar this year. And if you've seen my previous reviews of calendars, it's the same size, shape and format. So it's a long calendar and it's spiral bound at the top. I'll just give it a quick measure for anyone who wants to know. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it roughly. So 34 centimetres length and then 24 centimetres wide. So it's quite a substantial calendar. And I'll show you the format of it. So you open up the first day, or the first month rather, which is January. So this whole bottom half of the calendar is where you would write your appointments, your to-dos and things like that. It's got really big spaces for you to write several different things in on each day. And it's got a piece of space down here, a piece of space, a bit of space down here for any notes for that month as well. So each month is formatted in exactly the same way. You know, here's May, June, it's all exactly the same. But obviously the photos, the pictures, the illustrations, why did I say photos? The illustrations are completely different for every single month. So if we just close it again and look on the back, you can see that we have got little thumbnails of every month that's inside so that you can see before you open it, before you buy it, you know, what the illustrations are inside for each month. And they're all named as well. So for example, January is called Jack in the Green and it's like almost like a Green Man style look to it. February is Elemental. Then we've got World Book Day for March. So I don't know if this translates to other countries, but in the UK we have a World Book Day where your kids will go to school dressed as their favourite book character, things like that. And that sort of represents that day. In April, there's a spring themed illustration. In May, there's the Animal Carousel, which is the one that I've coloured because May is my birth month and I always tend to colour that one first. But I also really, really love the illustration as well. So it was a no-brainer. Then we've got Imagination for June, Neptune for July. And this really reminds me of one of Kelly's previous illustrations in one of her calendars a few years ago. It was a girl, it was a female, but it was very much like this and it was in that underwater style. I can't remember what the name of the illustration was, but it was something that I coloured and Kelly went on a shopping channel to promote her products and actually showed it on TV, and it was like crazy seeing my artwork on telly. So yeah, I think this might be like the boyfriend of the girl that I coloured. It's so similar. Then we've got Peace for August, Harvest for September, Bewitch for October, Lost Treasure for November, and The Night Before Christmas for December. So let's take a look at the illustrations in a bigger format and see. It's going to be a bit annoying me having to flip every page of this, so just bear with me. So here's the Green Man one, which is for January 2025. This is a nighttime scene, it looks like. You've got the moon. But I'm just wondering whether you could do this as a split illustration and have sort of like night and day. I don't know, maybe, or you could do it all night. We've got a little creature asleep here. so cute. There's lots of little critters sort of poking their head around and little cheeky characters. We've got a couple of beetles at the bottom. These will be gorgeous, done in, you know, some kind of like an Egyptian scarab, really jewel-like and gem tones. So that's the Green Man one. We've got little mice and owls and birds, and look at this little cute look. It's like a kid with a bird costume on. It's really, really sweet. So that's January. Let's get to February. I wonder if there's an easier way that I can do this. Oh yeah, there is. So if I lay that down, I can then just flip toward you. That'll be easier. So here's February. It's gorgeous. So we've got, it's like a side view portrait of a lady, and within her hair or her scarf or whatever it is that's on her head there, you can see that we've got a whole world inside. We've got a mountain range and a sky and this road that's kind of coming through. It gives me the sense of freedom, this image. I don't know why. What was it called? Elemental it was called. So there's elements of all the elements on the page, funnily enough. We've got wind, we have got water, I think it must be. Then we've got fire and earth. So all of the elements are depicted on the page, and it's just, I love this illustration. Like I said, you won't find anything similar to Kelly's style. She's so unique. So this one was the World Book Day. So we've got dragons and mermaids. We've got ducklings. And is this this must be a crocodile, right? So this could be like Peter Pan. We've got a unicorn with a robot riding on his back. Giant cat. A big castle in the background. Hot air balloon. This is just absolutely packed with all of the fun and imagination that you get when you're reading, you know, a book, especially fairy tales. Gorgeous. Here is, yeah, here's April. So there's a bit of black on this because I painted the next one, so it just transferred a little bit. My fault for not keeping it straight. So April, this is the spring illustration, and it's a lovely little scene that's sort of captured within this frame. These look like little sakura flowers, like cherry blossom, but I could be wrong. And this is a cute little cottage tucked away, and the two birds are just sat keeping an eye on things. It's lovely. Again, you've got elements of nature. You've got the butterfly, the bee. We've got some ladybugs and a little, oh my gosh, what's that word? Caterpillar. Another beetle. Yeah, it's lovely. I like the contained ones as well. So here's the one that I coloured, which you will have seen already if you follow me on social media. I posted it a couple of nights ago when I first coloured it, and it was an absolute joy to colour. I did it over a few evenings, and I did it with Prismacolor and Luminance pencils for the main, you know, the carousel itself, the mushroom top, the characters. That was all done in pencil. And then the background I did with watercolour. So I basically got different shades of blue right up till black. So starting from light and then up till black, and just mopped them on the page. So I wet the page first. It can take water. It's fine taking water. It doesn't bleed through to the other side. It may warp a little bit, but you can iron your pages if you're very careful, and if that bothers you. But I think when it's hung up on the wall, the weight of the rest of the calendar will just bring those creases out anyway. And then I used KJ Design by Karen paints for the gold stars. Hopefully you can see. I can't see what you can see. My camera's above me, but hopefully you can see them shining there. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it. I liked creating the different textures of the rat and the robin, you know, the fur and the feathers. And I love my little green tree frog. And I tried to make everything cohesive, even though there's a lot going on the page. I kept the colours for the underside of the mushroom the same. I kept the mushroom top colours the same as the big one. And I kept the little mushrooms at the bottom the same colours as, you know, the leaves and the butterfly. So I've tried to keep everything really, really cohesive. I think it's worked. I'm really pleased with it, and it's going to look amazing on the wall when it comes to May. So yeah, I'm super, super pleased with that. Then we've got June. So June was, can you remember? Imagination. So Kelly's work really is all about the imagination, and it's like, I don't know where she comes up with all of her ideas for illustrations, because they're so, you know, out of the box, I suppose. It's amazing. So you've got the lady here, looks a little bit like Kelly actually. Was this a self-portrait, Kelly? And what do we have? This looks like, what's this? It looks a bit like, is it an eagle? I can't really tell. But then in the space between the eagle head, we've got a little worm character. This bit of her hair turns into the moon. Hopefully you can see this, because I'm struggling to get the whole thing on screen. We've got a little sea creature in this bit of hair. This one turns into a wave. We've got this kind of, I want to say like a jackalope sort of character on there. I'm trying to think what this word is that I'm looking for. Yeah, like an antelope, because it's got the long horns, and then the feet of it sort of merge in with her hair. Here we've got like a chicken head. This, I'm not sure what this is, but it's got a face. It's the bottom of her skirt that sort of splits off and goes into the hair. We've got an apple with a caterpillar coming out of it, and then this is, I think if we look this side, this is another little creature with 2 small horns. Yeah, it is the epitome of imagination, really, isn't it? It's like a fever dream, you know, where all this stuff is sort of merging together. I would just love to know where Kelly gets all her inspo. And then this is the guy that I think is the boyfriend of the girl that I coloured in a previous calendar. It's my headcanon, I'm keeping it. So yeah, gorgeous. Again, it's underwater, so you can just imagine playing with paints, inks and things like that. It's going to look stunning. A lot of his hair is sort of covered and taken up by different creatures. So this looks like an octopus tentacle. Then this could be, I don't know if that's part of the octopus. Oh no, it's an eel, I think. That goes behind there. Some kind of eel character. Then we've got 2 little fish at the bottom. We've got a turtle here, a little fish, another fish. We've got obviously his trident and the shells making up his crown. Just gorgeous. The next one is August, and this was peace. So this illustration really does invoke a sense of peace, I think. You know, she's got her eyes closed, she looks very meditative. We've got the koi fish, little mushrooms, plants and flowers, botanicals, free bird in the corner, this kind of strange lady hybrid with tree. But yeah, it is super peaceful. I can imagine just chilling out while I'm colouring this and not having to think about specific colours, because it's not something that's designed to be realistic. It is totally the opposite, you know, it's surrealistic, really. So, you know, you don't have to think about the colours, just get on there and create a gorgeous, colourful piece of art. The next one is September, and this is the Harvest Moon illustration. So obviously we've got our big moon with the face in there, but what I really love about this one is it is very autumnal. Everything on the page just screams autumn, or fall in America, as you call it. We've got the pumpkins, we've got the turnips, we've got the cobbed corn, we've got what look like sunflowers. I'm not sure if they are or not though. Apples, berries, and then all of your kind of woodland creatures, your hare, your little dormouse, birds. It's lovely. Little bits of wheat as well poking through. I know that this is going to be done with so many very rich, earthy, autumnal tones. Your burnt oranges, your deep reds, and those sort of mossy greens as well. I can't wait to colour that one. The next one is October. So obviously this is more of a Halloween illustration, which I love. So we've got the witch in the middle, and again, her hair is sort of merging into creatures and other things. So we've got a really kind of spooky side profile face here. Some kind of ghost within her hair. We've got more pumpkins, but these are fun ones, whereas the ones before were a little bit more realistic. These ones are sort of fun, cartoony pumpkins. Obviously, we've got trees with faces and eyes in them. We've got a rather scared looking cat there, kind of emaciated. It reminds me of the cat from Coraline. That would be quite cool to do this as a Coraline themed illustration. We've got mushrooms and ghosties, and it's just fantastic. And another one that I can't wait to colour. So here's November. This one was called Lost Treasure. So, yeah, obviously you can see there's such a scope for doing your metals, your gemstones, and making everything look really shiny, super metallic, lots of contrast. Maybe glitter or metallic gel pens or paints you might want to do on this one. The paper takes everything really, really well. Obviously, alcohol markers are going to bleed through, because they bleed through pretty much anything unless it's very specialised paper. But anything other than that, as you can see on my picture, I added so many layers of paint and so much water. And just apart from that bit of buckling, which I'm more than expected, it was absolutely fine. So chuck everything you can at this paper. It is a thick you know, cardstock. It's not just paper. So yeah, that is one piece. So I'll do the ping test. You can hear that really dense ping. This, it's like a goat. It's like, well, it's like a horse, I guess, but then it's got a seahorsey body and a seahorse tail. So I know that Kelly's done a Capricorn sea goat before in her zodiac piece, but I don't know whether this is a Capricorn sort of sea goat or whether it's something else. This looks more like a horse's head to me. But anyhow, you can see it's got that look of what's the word I'm thinking of? It's got that look of knights and armor and that kind of like a knight's tale. You know the style that I'm thinking of, like medieval. That's what I'm just really bad with words. I was gonna swear then. I'm just not very good with words. But yeah, I love it. So again, just lots and lots of opportunity for you to do your metal work and things like that on this illustration. And look at this little pair of eyes in the shell at the bottom. So it's like underwater. It could be underwater. This is obviously an underwater creature, and then we've got some shells and things at the bottom. So this, again, you could do it as underwater if you wanted to, or not if you don't. And finally, we've got December, which was the night before Christmas. And again, what an absolutely stunning illustration. I am pretty sure that this calendar is also available as a PDF. Don't quote me on it, but if it is, I'm going to link it in the description after this video so you can have a look. So even if you can't get the calendar, you can't afford to get it shipped to you, or you just want a PDF version of this, I'm sure you can. I'll leave the link in the description. But this is one that I would love to just buy on its own. So hopefully it is available in Kelly's Etsy. It's just the perfect end to the calendar. It is gorgeous. You've got your Christmas tree, your presents, your hot chocolate with cream and marshmallows, your little Christmas cake. Obviously the girl in the centre is just so excited for Christmas and just her imagination's running wild. You've got the little village with snow and the mountainscape in the background, and then of course you've got Santa and Rudolph racing through the sky. And this has got a planet here as well, so like how high does Santa go when he goes up in the sky? Who knows? But yeah, it's just gorgeous. I can't fault any illustration in this calendar, and it's always the same when I get something by Kelly. None of her work ever disappoints or falls short of the mark. She's just consistently so incredibly talented and skilled, and I've got a real soft spot for her artwork. So I hope that you've enjoyed looking at this today. Now this calendar, the physical version of the calendar to get shipped to you, it's really not that expensive at all. I think it's around about £12, 10 or £12. And for the, you know, for a physical product, you know, you're looking about that anyway, no matter who's drawn it. If you're getting a physical product shipped to you with illustrations inside, it's usually at least that. But then to have the sort of quality that Kelly has done, you know, with the cover, the cardstock, the spiral binding, you know, the usefulness of the large area of calendar underneath, and then also 12 amazing, intricate illustrations that you just wouldn't find anywhere else. I think for the price, it's more than a good deal. It's incredible. So thank you so much, Kelly, for returning to us with your Christmas calendars. Sorry, your New Year calendars. And I just hope that you'll continue if you can, because it's always a joy to receive one and to get colouring it in. So I would love to hear everyone's comments below of what you think. As I said, links will be in the description along with the PDF link if I can find that. So yeah, love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Have a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you again in the new year. Bye.